Hi, good afternoon, everybody. The boys are back in action. They're in Vancouver to take on a very, very strong Canucks team to close out this back-to-back. Coming up. Okay, so this is another big game, as we know. It looks like Devin Levi's getting the start. At least that's what I'm led to believe to this moment right now. Guys, I want to fix an error because I was so damn happy yesterday and realized I'm too much into the Detroit thing, guys. This is the thing, what's going on with me, why I made this mistake. Let's take a look at the wildcard race. Okay, there you see it. The Capitals now have that second spot. Over Detroit, they even have a game in hand, a point up on them. And we're 4 points out, guys, not 3. So my bad yesterday saying 3, 4. It's 4. At least we can control our destiny with Washington with the 2 home games against them. At least that's there. And the fact that we can catch them also in the regulation wins as well. Because if you look at their regulation wins, that's also a problem. They got 27. We need the Capitals to start losing. And the truth is, if you look at their goals for and against, it's almost mind-boggling they have a winning record. It really is. But they are finding a way as an experienced team to get it done. Tampa Bay, 78 points. So we're 7 points being Tampa. We are 4 points being Washington. Both teams hold 2 games in hand. That doesn't look pretty. But the main thing is we won yesterday, and if we win today, we will still inch closer no matter what way you cut it. And Pittsburgh and Jersey, I might want to add, are not out of it either. They're not. I mean, one of these teams puts a 7-game winning streak together, they're right in it. 6, 7-game winning streak. Anything's possible this time of the year. So it looks like Levi's getting the start. The Sabres are going to, let me get that while I want to talk about that. The Sabres will be up against one hell of a good team. But hey, let's not like cower. Let's go at this. Let's see what we're made of. At least we're going to find out. At least there's going to be some questions answered before the end of the year with these games that we have left on the schedule. In Edmonton, in Vancouver, in Calgary. Like this West trip is it's gonna speak a lot volumes about where we're at as a franchise, where we're at this year. So right now the Canucks at home, 21-7-4. Their goals for and against is a plus 54. They've scored 238. They've let in 184. It just seems like that team continues to roll no matter what it feels like this year. And they are 4th in the league in goals for. In goals against, they are the 4th. They've let in the 4th least in the entire league. So you can slice that any way you want. The Sabres have 500 numbers. The one thing on our side, guys, we're the youngest team in hockey. We have a lot of studs on our team. And if you look historically, it's always kind of a fun game whenever they play the Canucks. So we're going to try to beat our evil cousins tonight, guys. It's not going to be an easy feat. This is a well-coached team. Surprisingly, I'm very surprised at the job Talkett's done with this team. This team, they hit, they skate, they score. They got great goaltending. There's everything you want in a hockey team's on this team. Except like us, the history, no Stanley Cup. But at least the Canucks have had 3 games they played in their history where they could have won a Stanley Cup. We have 0. We want to get back to getting at least our first chance, get to a game where we're playing for a Stanley Cup one night. I can only imagine how exciting that would be. This is going to be a fun one, guys. I expect the Sabres to show up in this game. I do. I think we'll show up. I think we're going to make this a hell of a fight. I don't think they're just going to steamroll us. I'd be surprised if they beat us the way we beat Seattle. I know those Seattle announcers will be cheering for the Canucks tonight. They made that clear yesterday. But that's okay. We just got to go in there and go about business. The truth is, the Canucks don't need this game as badly as we do, regardless if they lost in regulation. Their season's intact. It's fine. They're in great shape. They're rolling into the playoffs. Even when they started good this year, guys, I didn't think the Canucks were going to get in. I really did. It took me a while to become a believer in this Canucks team. Once I seen they're around the 50-game mark, and this team is still really good, I have to give in to to my pride and ego and say I was wrong, because wow, this team really is steamrolling the league this year. So good for them. Good for their fans out there. They've had so much heartbreak over the years. It's any team that's had 2 Stanley Cup losses in Game 7 of the finals, you got to feel for them. You just do. It's especially a team that doesn't have one in their history. And especially that Rangers one still irks me the wrong way. I really wanted the Canucks to get that cup with that Pavel Bure bunch. I really wanted them to get that cup. Plus, a friend of mine was playing on the team during that cup run. So, I really wanted them to win that one. The Boston one, I was kind of up in the air because I didn't like, what was their coach's name? I forget his name. I couldn't stand him. But, it was hard to dislike that Canucks team too, with Luongo and everything. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this year with the Canucks in the playoffs. I have a sneaky suspicion they might bow out early just because this is so soon over there. And then next year, maybe not have as good a year, but go further in the playoffs. But that's kind of just my old school thinking. We're in a different era now where things just happen all of a sudden. The Los Angeles Kings will testify to that. So will the Carolina Hurricanes in 06 testify to that. It just takes your year where you go in and everything kind of goes your way. And come playoff time, you run into teams like we were with Carolina with injuries. And Carolina made sure to cash in. I remember I was really pulling for Carolina to beat Edmonton that year. As many of you weren't, but I was. I was going for. I didn't want to hear about the Cups back in Canada. I'm so sick of that thinking out here. It drives me nuts, guys. I just like to see franchises win cups that haven't. Edmonton has 5 cups, so of course I was pulling for Carolina. My daughter was a Hartford fan as a kid, and became a Carolina fan. And now she's a Habs fan, and there's not much I could do about that. The infection spread, and there's not much I could do. But she cheers for the Sabres too, because she knows how much it means to me. And I remember when what's his name, Alfredson got the overtime goal, Game 5 of 2007 conference final. She called me crying. She was really upset the Sabres lost that one. So take it for what it is, guys. Let's get this game. We got to win this game today. We got to make sure that we play a good game, even if we lose, okay? I want to see that we showed up. I don't want to see a game where we look like we did in Detroit, guys, where we're intimidated and no. We can't have that happen. Because we're gonna lose our minds. We want to see good effort. We're a smart enough fan base that will accept losing to a degree if we know the boys played their guts out. If we see that, we're a pretty fair fan base that way. We are. We will look back and say, my God, though, we deserved a better fate tonight, that kind of thing. But when a team's winning like Vancouver, guys, everything's going right for them, okay? They could outplay us in this game and win 3-2 because their season's just going right and ours is struggling. It's been that kind of year for us. It's been a struggle season. It just has been. Now, Tage Thompson, I want to mention this before I forget. Tage, this is scored again in back-to-back games. It's the 5th time this year. I did some digging, checked it out. He's never scored in 3 consecutive games yet this year, guys. He hasn't done it this year. I expect Tage to score today because I expect Tage, to be honest, to get 10 more goals this year. I think he's going to finish strong. I think he's going to close out the season strong. Cousins, I'm not convinced. I just don't know. He looks like he's making wrong decisions on the ice. He looks like... And it's nothing against Dylan Cousins. I love the guy, I do. But it's like when I see him just second-guessing himself is what it looks like, guys. And that's what happens to players that are not having good years. He looks like he's constantly second-guessing his decision-making, even if he goes after a player. Sometimes he'll get caught all of a sudden. And it's just a bad year for him. That's all it is. Just a bad year. Doesn't mean next year he won't bounce right back and have a great season. What happens when players have bad years, it's not because they get lazy. It's not because they don't love the game. It's because it's a compound of bad thing after bad thing after bad thing happening. And it feels like you're fighting off all these bumblebees around you, constantly throughout the year. And that's what's happened to Cousins' season. He just can't seem to get on track. Now, Cousins is the type of guy, if we got into the playoffs, could lead us far. That's one thing I love about this guy. That's why I like Dylan Cousins. He reminds me of a guy, what I've seen of his career so far. He reminds me of a guy that can, if we got in the playoffs, he could be our MVP. He could be the guy that just is bashing bodies on the board, and he's just going crazy, scoring big goals, kind of like Tkachuk did last year for Florida. That kind of player. You know, he's not as much of a pest, but he's as much of a physical, in your nose type player if he has to be. So I expect maybe him to wake up today. Maybe that's possible. We'll see. Skinner, as we know, usually historically has scored in bunches, so let's hope that's a thing that's going to happen. And let's hope, last but not least, is Devin Levi gives us one hell of a performance. When we feel good if we win today because of Devin Levi. That would secure the net, is what I'm saying, while UPL's getting a very important rest before Edmonton. Let's hope that we don't have to pull out Devin Levi in this game. I'm going to close with that. I'm going to just talk a little about Devin's numbers. All right, 19 games with the Amerks, guys, 11-5-3, a .927 save percentage, and a goals against of 2.52. Very good numbers. Very good numbers. And no shutouts, though. He does not have a professional shutout yet. And folks, there's no time like the present. Okay, done for this. I'll see you guys in the post game. Let's go, boys. Come on, make us proud. Regardless of the score, the outcome, make us proud. Fight like hell. Fight these guys right to the end. Don't give us one of those soft performances where, you know, you're just, oh no, it's too hard. Like, no. Let's get out there. Let's fight hard. Let's get this game. See you guys in the post game.